Well, if you wanted a genuine reaction video, here you go. Because I've been up for all of 10 minutes. I'm not awake in the slightest. I'm still wearing the shit shirt. One of the shit shirts. You just be like, ah, screw it, whatever, I'll wear this. It's going to get covered in dog hair. Who cares? Shout out to the dog who's sleeping right over there. All right, we got some stuff to talk about, don't we? I'm going to start with Steve Yzerman stepping down as Lightning GM. Here's the thing. It's definitely weird. I mean, as far as whether or not it comes down to maybe some family issues that would make sense for him not having to take such a hands-on role of actually running the team. He's basically stepping down into where the Leafs were hoping Lou Lamoriello would step down to and still oversee Kyle Dubas, but or still be there, just be like, hey Kyle, what about this? Which for the Leafs that might have worked out all right. The bottom line is for Yzerman, it's still his team. Everybody knows that. If the Lightning win this year, it's still because of him and what he built. And then he gets to leave and go back to Detroit. That's what it is. Ken Holland has an extra year on his deal outside of this one. He's done. I'm sorry, but Ken Holland right now, you watch him closely because he has to know. He has to. This is Steve Yzerman going back to Detroit. It is. There's no way it isn't. Like I said, if there is something personal going on, and it makes sense for him to take the advisory role so that he can be elsewhere and not have to... So basically that he can feel like, oh, I'm not doing my best for the team. Like if he feels from a personal standpoint he's not going to be able to do what the role of being a GM for the team requires, then I understand that. But considering he only has 1 year left on his deal, right? He has 1 year left on his deal. Ken Holland has a 2-year extension signed, so Yzerman, you leave Tampa, you come to Detroit, you get situated, then you take over. That's what it seems like. And obviously I feel a little bit bad for Julien Brisebois here, who pretty much nobody's talking about. And I don't really think anybody feels like they have to, because, again, the team is still set up in a phenomenal way, and there's really nothing that Brisebois has to do over the next season, the next couple of seasons. I mean, everybody's locked down. Hedman, Stamkos, Kucherov, everybody's good to go. So Julien Brisebois is inheriting a simply phenomenal team. I think even Vasilevsky's still locked up for another year or two. It's shocking, for sure. And like I said, I can't help but wonder if it is... I mean, is it a combination of things, or is it just as black and white as he felt he couldn't do the job because something personal is going on, or this is him just flat out being like, hey, I'm riding out this contract, but my work here's done. We might win the cup this year. Even if we don't, my love for Detroit's too strong, and there's probably an offer under the table that, he won't admit to, but the opportunity is there. We don't know the full story at this moment. I'm not surprised. I mean, for Tampa fans, you don't have to be that concerned because obviously last year you were the favorites to win the cup. This year, you are the favorites to win the Stanley Cup. Next year, you're probably still the favorites to win the Stanley Cup. Yzerman leaving after this year, Yzerman stepping down this year into an advisory role doesn't take that away. So, yeah, you're fine. And for Julien Brisebois, I don't know a damn thing about him, so I'm not going to speak to it. I could read the article and just be like, oh, well, he does this, he does this. No. You're good. You're good. Oh, see, he ran Syracuse. There you go. There you go. And they won a Calder Cup. So you're good to go. You're in good hands regardless. For Steve Yzerman, I do hope this isn't a personal issue and that, just genuinely he's like, all right, I want to step down and I'm probably going to Detroit. If you're a Red Wings fan, yeah, be pumped because this is most likely what's happening. If everything's good to go and there's nothing wrong, it's most likely what's happening. So exciting news, an exciting day for you. Not an exciting day for me because I really like Adam McQuaid. And if you follow the Bruins, you've watched anything behind the scenes stuff. If you've watched Behind the B or just any kind of behind the scenes spots that they've had on the Bruins, Adam McQuaid, from all outward appearances, never met the man, but Adam McQuaid appears to be one of the best people in the sport, like one of the best individuals, one of the kindest, most charitable people in the sport today. And for that reason, it sucks to see him go. He's been a Bruin his entire career. He is one of those guys who's still fit. And I promise I'm not crying. I got something in my eye. He's one of those guys that really still fit that mold of big bad Bruins. I mean, if you were to be... And I hate to say it, but just... You can't measure toughness. But I'd put him against anybody in the league and be confident. At the very least, the heart, the grit, the toughness, the ability to punch faces. And at the end of the day, he's still a solid hockey player. He is still, I mean, again, for a prototypical defensive defenseman with a rough edge to him, he's what you're looking for. He's still competent in the NHL. But obviously, as the league starts to drift away from that, it makes sense for this deal to happen. Now, here's the thing, of course. He was traded for Steven Kampfer, and a lot of people are like, Steven Kampfer? I don't mind this. Steven Kampfer makes his return to Boston, and the Bruins also get a 4th and a conditional 7th. The conditional 7th, I would imagine, is based on whether or not they re-sign Kampfer, I would think. I haven't read through the details in full. But the big thing here is the fact that McQuaid had a year left on his contract at $2.75 million. That will give the Bruins, and of course they had to be like, oh, Jamie Benn, who cares? That, of course, is really nothing more to that article, just saying what happened. Being able to free up that much cap space is certainly going to help in terms of potentially bringing in some deadline acquisitions, maybe making more moves. It just gives the Bruins flexibility. And when you look at the Bruins' defensive depth chart right now, obviously McAvoy, Chara still here, Krug, Brandon Carlo will be returning from injury. He missed basically all of last season. The signing of John Moore was pretty much the death knell for McQuaid in Boston. And you have Kevin Miller, of course, there's 6. And then the emergence of Matt Grzelcyk. He is your 7th. As far as who plays every day between Grzelcyk and Miller, not sure. We'll see. And they might be based off the lineup. And whether or not it's a back-to-back. And this will also give room for Urho Vakanainen to try and develop. But really, Steven Kampfer is going to be that guy, that 8th guy that you can call up and send down. You weren't going to be able to really call up and send down Adam McQuaid. It just would have been a bit too complicated, I believe, especially, with waivers and what you can bury and all that. So it makes sense to do this. You free up cap space. You bring in Steven Kampfer. Is he the best defenseman in the world? No, but that's fine because this isn't about trading Adam McQuaid to try and bring in someone of better or equal skill. It's about freeing up cap space. You also bring in a replacement that you can call up and send down and not necessarily have to worry about it. It makes all the sense in the world for the Bruins. It really does. I mean, the fact that you also got a draft pick out of it's a little bit surprising. I'm a little bit surprised. Like, for the Rangers, you bring in Adam McQuaid and nothing else. That's what I'm surprised by. The Bruins are the one to take back, or the Bruins are the one to get draft picks in this deal. I would have thought it would have been the Rangers because, hey, we're taking on this shit contract for you, right? So how about you give us McQuaid a 4th and a 7th for Steven Kampfer? I'm kind of surprised in that. The best piece of this deal at the moment that we know of, without those picks being made, is Adam McQuaid. So you could say the Rangers win it in that. They bring in a tremendous locker room guy. They bring in still a decent option at the NHL level. So it works for them, especially, with now the younger core after their quick rebuild on the fly. I still say they're not going to be terrible this year. Are they going to make the playoffs? Probably not. But that's what I was surprised by. It's a good deal for both teams. The Rangers do get another piece. And as far as their depth chart, I'm honestly not sure. This will probably take forever and a day to load, but that's all right. I'm just surprised in it for that reason. For the Bruins, again, makes all the sense in the world. You clear out cap space. You bring in a replacement. You also get draft picks. It's a win-win. For the Rangers, again, if I look at their roster here, you are technically getting an upgrade on Kampfer, so I guess that's worth it. But right now, Shattenkirk, Shea, Stahl, DeAngelo, Pionk, McQuaid, Clayson, Gilmore, O'Gara. I can understand it. I mean, he locks down that top 6. right? He locks down that top 6. He's a more reliable guy to have there than Freddie Claesson. John Gilmore looked really good last year for the Rangers towards the end of the season. O'Gara, they got from the Bruins last year at the deadline, which, you know, is he an NHL at this point? Who knows? And then Brendan Smith, who I guess they might still plan on burying. Maybe he'll be the 7th guy. Claesson, Gilmore, and O'Gara will probably be in the AHL at this point and be call-up options. So it does help solidify the Rangers' defense. It gives them more options because when talking about, I mean, your top 5 from Pionk and up are pretty much locked in. So when you want to talk about the 6th, 7th, and 8th guys, you have options now between McQuaid, Claesson, Gilmore, Smith, and O'Gara. Maybe even Ryan Lindgren, but I doubt it at this point. So I feel, I got to be honest, like I said, I love Adam McQuaid, but if you want to talk about, well, who won this trade, the Rangers did the Bruins a favor. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, hell, I could, if you want to look at it, tack it on from like, oh, they gave up too much in the Nash trade, but at least the Rangers did them a favor here, which they did. They did. The Rangers get a solid defenseman, but the Bruins get a call-up replacement and draft picks and freed up cap space. The Bruins won this trade. Rangers get the better player in the deal, but the Bruins won this trade for the flexibility and the, you know, for the moves that they might be able to make now off of this. That's my opinion. At the end of the day, I'm still sad to see Adam McQuaid go. It always sucks to see a longtime member of your team go. You know, even if he's not the Torrey Krugs, the Charas, or even the McAvoy at this point in terms of skill level. Still sucks to see him go. So in terms of the trade, again, I love it for the Bruins. It's good for the Rangers. I still say the Bruins got the edge on this one. Unless there's a narrative or spin to this that I'm missing. Again, I've been up for 10 minutes plus however long this video is at this point. At the end of the day, though, Adam McQuaid, thank you. Thank you for what you did here in Boston. Again, that style is still appreciated, even if, you know, there are some people who are like, no, it always needs to be this style, or if there are some people like me who can appreciate the style, but also know where the game's going. Yeah, thank you. Thank you to Adam McQuaid. Best of luck in New York, and if they don't re-sign you, best of luck to wherever you go after that. Wish you all the best. Guys, that'll do it for this one. As you can tell, the voice isn't exactly warmed up yet either. So I'm going to sit here and drink some OJ. What brand? Not telling you, because they won't pay me. Probably. I'll see you guys next time. But let me know down in the comments below what you think of the Yzerman news, what you think of this deal as well. And I will see you guys next time, where I will actually be awake, probably.